Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 277. Back down in the basement with my teenage son and co-host, who is not in the basement, but in his residence room at university.
No basement.
To talk about another week of professional wrestling. We will go deep dive into AEW Dynamite. We'll quickly talk about Raw. We'll, somewhere in between those two depths, talk about NXT. Anything else in wrestling that comes up, some news, some rumors, some trivia. Before that, we usually chat for a couple minutes, so if you want to skip that, there's timestamps provided in the description. You can jump to whatever you would like. I guess the big update I need to give people, well, not update because they know, but Blue Jays broke my heart, but so they lost. Obviously, I was in a garage with 20 other people watching, and man, a whole bunch of weird things happened in that series for them to lose, but so super disappointing. But if you had told me at the beginning of the season that they were going to make the World Series and go to Game 7, I would have been like thrilled. I would have said no shot because they weren't supposed to be good, right? But they were awesome. Special team, special season. Just couldn't quite come through in the clutch. The Dodgers were the heavy favorites and did end up winning. So that kind of sucked, but that did not affect your life whatsoever, did it?
No, I didn't even really pay attention. The only reason I knew is because a bunch of people are upset about it.
Yes, it was upsetting, very much upsetting. Just a couple fluke things, like a ball getting stuck underneath the wall off a hit that kind of took away a run from us, and then just a couple other things. Two players in the outfield for them colliding, but somehow still catching the ball, which, like, if that happens 100 times, they might catch that ball twice. So just weird things happening, as can happen sometimes in sports. So disappointing, but what can you do? You're looking a little better rested today. Yeah? Slept better last night?
I would say so.
I've been fighting a cold, so what was it, 2 nights ago? I took NyQuil. Whew, I was out. Because as someone who barely ever takes any medication of any kind, when I do take it, it generally...
Aside from headache stuff, I don't really take much either.
And even that isn't very often, right? So when you take
sometimes I try to sleep it off or shower it off.
Yeah, it's effective when you actually don't take meds a lot. So the NyQuil just knocked me out. I got a good night's sleep. I feel better. I'm hoping not to cough throughout this, but
that would be key. Yeah.
One of the benefits when you're not in the room with me is when I mute my mic to cough, it won't, because normally if you're in the room, even if I mute my mic, your mic's going to pick up me coughing, right? But
yeah, at least a little bit, right?
Because you're not here. If I mute my mic, there is no sound. Although I'm hoping this microphone that I'm using, which is a very, very, very cheap knockoff of a very expensive microphone. I don't know if it's picking up the robot vacuum that's running around above me right now, but we'll see.
I'm not hearing it.
Okay, good. I'll know when I go to edit the sound and stuff. I put a noise gate on it, which should help, but we'll see. Anyways, anything you want to discuss? I don't really have much else on my mind.
I think so. If I'm grasping at straws here, then no.
I crushed in darts last night. I won with every combination of person there. We switched all the matchups, including Sadie, who is like a young child. Although she can throw a pretty good darts. So Mike was terrible. He's usually one of the better players, and he couldn't. I was like, remember when you were good at darts, Mike? Because he was not throwing well, but
shame.
He'll rebound, I'm sure. But anyways, I say we get into talking about a whole bunch of wrestling. First thing we do always is talk about some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. A somewhat better week for news this week, I thought. Last week we were hurting, so we'll see if we stole any of each other's because we haven't talked about it.
Last couple weeks.
Yes, true. So first thing I had was that, and I think you're going to piggyback off this too by just our between segment chat there. WWE reports are wanted to, quote, send a message by terminating Ridge Holland's contract. What a nice message. Sounds like a lovely place to work, eh? So they terminated his contract ahead of its scheduled November 14th expiration date, citing his recent public comments as a breach of contract.
Which was him feeling hung out to dry and worried about not paying his mortgage. So, real asshole, right?
Right. So because WWE talent are prohibited from publicly criticizing the company, those comments gave WWE grounds to terminate the deal early. Apparently, this report is saying that was meant to send the message, if you say something bad, you can and will be cut. And then...
Seems a little drastic.
So in relation to that, you were just talking about Jinder Mahal, so go ahead, because that was...
Rich Holland put up a GoFundMe, which, I can't really say I'm surprised that the TKO has a complete lack of empathy towards Rich Holland.
I'm not surprised at all.
No, I'm no fan of his, but I do feel really bad for him.
Yeah, neither of us were fans of him, but sort of and his thing is like we put our body on the line all the time, and then when something goes
and
wrong,
they sent him to go for TNA, and he got injured.
And they did pay for the surgery, I believe.
Which is nice, but like still.
I mean, it'd be nicer if their country could figure out how to just give people medical care.
Yeah.
But that's a separate issue.
But then yeah, like he has a GoFundMe and a bunch of wrestlers have donated. Chelsea Green, I'll talk about her again.
Yeah.
Her and Omos have set up, I think it's like monthly 1K donations, which I don't know how that works, but that's cool. And then even I saw Nick Jackson and Kyle Fletcher also donated, which I'm happy to see Fletcher there.
That's cool.
To like imply that he's a decent dude.
Yeah. And you said Jinder as well, right?
Jinder as well, yeah.
Those Canadians.
That's cool, yeah.
Helpful Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, too bad for him. So more on an injury that has had somebody out for a very long time. So Bianca Belair, right? It was.
I was hoping we were going Jay White.
She broke her finger, which I'm like, okay, first of all, why does she need to be off TV at all? Because she could still do stuff. Because a lot of times...
They love having people do stuff when they're not wrestling, or just like not wrestling.
And a lot of times, right, when they're gone, it's because... the travel, if they have surgery or some major injury, doing the travel is a problem.
Isn't that part of how Candido died, which he was like injured, then he
had a blood clot or something?
Yeah, right.
I think. So her finger is more severe than initially believed. She broke it in 3 places, including damage to the joint. So finger and knuckle are kind of messed up, and that there's optimism she could be cleared to return in early 2026. So still another month and a bit off, which was because I've been wondering, like, because she's somebody they like
genuinely
to use.
Had no idea. That is true, but I had no idea she was gone.
So when she's gone for so long, I started to wonder, because she's not somebody they just won't use for months at a time. They seem to be kind of high on her, as I think they should be. So
I'm sure she has a ready-made title program with Jade.
Apparently she mangled that finger real bad, so hopefully it goes well and she's back as soon as she can be.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of SmackDown, I was telling you how Chelsea Green won the U.S. title, the women's U.S. title, for a second time, beating Julia. Do you know how long that match went?
4 minutes.
1:35.
Whoa. How, like, was there shenanigans involved? Do you know?
I don't know, because I know, like, Kiana James was interfering on Julia's behalf, and then, like, Alba Fire's there because Secret her wrist, but, like, she did pin her with the help of the ropes. I did see that, but, like, still, 1:35 is dastardly. So then it got me wondering, because I saw someone post about it, the total runtime for the wrestling on SmackDown. We have Dragunov's Open Challenge beat Gargano in like 11 minutes, basically. Nia Jax beat Charlotte in like 10.5 minutes. Lash Legend also got called up. She's with Nia Jax now.
Makes sense.
Remember they had that random feud
a
little while ago?
Nia came to NXT to torture me.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Then Green beat Julia in the aforementioned sub 2-minute match. See, speed does make sense now,
I guess,
because this is a regular title match and it went that long.
Remember Julia was like the hottest female free agent there was.
And you want to guess how many times she defended the title in her 139-day reign?
Which was a record-setting reign, right? Not that there's a ton of comparison. But
2 times.
Twice in 140 days, basically?
Pretty much, yes. Hikuleo or Tala Tonga beat Phoenix in less than 10 minutes, and Phoenix is just thriving right there.
Yes.
And then Cody beat Aleister Black in under 9 minutes.
Right.
Which I remember the reports before SmackDown were that Black was next in line for a title challenge, and they did have a segment at the beginning of the show, and so I'm like, oh, okay, they're doing it. Nope, non-title match in the main event.
Lose.
Black drops it still, and then McIntyre claymore the ref, which was pretty funny, and then he got suspended, so he's out.
I saw he was suspended. Kayfabe suspended.
But like 40-ish minutes of total wrestling on a 2-hour show. Meanwhile, you were saying Dynamite had like at least an hour.
59
so like
minutes.
At least half the show, which I think is appropriate.
Yep. That seems fair.
It's just so WWE. And yeah, I don't know. It's
I'll piggyback off that, which was my next one, which is WWE ticket sales are slowing down. For several upcoming events have cooled off. So even during the week of Christmas, which is historically known for really good business, it's looking pretty soft.
Right.
With several of their upcoming events having attendance figures closely resembling AEW's numbers from a year ago. Exceptions being remaining John Cena appearances seem to do better.
Not so funny when it happens to you, huh?
Right. Exactly. But again, if
I
they're
will
charging
take this opportunity to gloat.
if they're charging triple for the tickets and only half the people are coming, they're still coming out ahead, which is all they'll care about.
That is true, but if we're gonna, AEW got crap for that for like
I
at
know.
least a year and a half, so
And
I will take every potential opportunity to rag on WWE for attendance or.
And there has
anything
to be a
before.
point where they will not enjoy the stadium looking empty on camera, right? There is,
Which has already been the case a couple times, right? At least somewhat.
they may have to start doing something, but anyways, we'll
And then
see.
like people are still using an insult to AEW. I think someone posted like a picture of that empty side of SmackDown, being like, "Oh, it looks like an AEW show." Like, I mean, pretty soon that's not going to be the case.
Right. Your turn.
At least AEW knows how to play to the venues, right? Speaking of AEW, they announced pre-Dynamite the new AEW National Championship.
Right. Which how many texts from you are about how beautiful the international was?
Like at least 4, I want to say.
Yeah, I would agree.
We'll get there. So basically, new belt, champion to be crowned in a casino gauntlet match at Full Gear, which on surface value, that's great because we love those.
We enjoy. Yeah, they're good matches. Yeah,
those are great. Those are always really fun. It's to be defended in AEW and other promotions. I saw it's confirmed it'll be defended at Final Battle for ROH.
Yeah.
It's similar to how the All Atlantic or international title started out, which
with Pac sort of defending in indie places.
Pac was the only one who really did that because Orange Cassidy defended a lot, but he was always in AEW, right? Tony Khan said he missed seeing the national title on TBS, hence the creation of this one. So it's inspired by the old NWA one. And then this sparked some controversy because current NWA national champion Mike Mondo, aka the Spirit Squad guy, took offense. And like multiple NWA people were like, Tony Khan's like, they're complaining about it. I'm like, you work for NWA, shut up.
Have you seen Mike Mondo lately?
No.
He, since leaving WWE, has taken all the steroids.
I have seen
allegedly.
Okay, that's what you mean? Okay,
he is, because I watched that guy, the link I sent you, that Marky D, I think, on YouTube, where watches all the bad stuff, like got me watching Juggalos Championship Wrestling. I actually watched some more of it yesterday. He loves Mike Mondo. I can't tell if he's being sincere or not, but he is.
I would hope not. It's the Spirit Squad guy.
He looks like a shorter Hammerstone, basically. Like the two of them have the market cornered on performance enhancing things.
So I love that the NWA people got offended as if like they have the rights to a national title.
Right. As if anyone knows they exist or knows what their titles are or anything else.
Because their national title, remind you, it's that ugly one that's shaped like a flag. So I'm sure AEW can do better than that. I'd be all for a new title. And we were talking about this. If it opened a new division, like how we have the women's tag.
That's what I want.
Right? I think a hardcore title would have been cool. I think cruiserweight, junior heavyweight is fun, but like it kind of puts a ceiling on some people.
Yeah.
I think hardcore would really play to AEW's strengths because they tend to do a lot of really good matches in that kind of genre.
Right.
But this is just another standard mid card belt that doesn't do much different. At least I will say the one thing is that if it's going to be defended in all these other places, it might not take up as much TV space as the other ones. So there is that, to be fair. But my main thing is, why did we just unify 2 titles if we were going to introduce another? Now we're back to square one in terms of quantity of belts.
Right.
The unified title looks even dumber because, one, the unified title sounds like a world title. When you think unified title, you think like undisputed, you think world title, right? Which it's not. And then now it's like we have the same amount of belts again. Additionally, the international title initially had the same concept as the national title we're now bringing. So why didn't we just keep that one? I would have rather just like axed the continental title if we needed to get rid of belts because that one wasn't as good looking.
But we have the C2 and we like that.
But like I'd rather have the C2 be for a world title shot, kind of like the G1 is, right? The G1's not for like a mid-card belt. No offense to that belt. And like I don't get why we got rid of the international title. It's a beautiful belt.
There it is.
It's my second favorite belt that AEW has made. The world title is the best one, obviously, because that
it is nice.
Thing is just an absolute masterpiece. But the international title was quite the looker as well. I just don't understand why we got rid of it for the unified title. That like again isn't a world title, and then now we're introducing a title with 4 less letters. We just took the inter off of it. Now it's only this nation.
That's right.
No other nations can't. Like if they go back when they go back to Australia,
cannot defend
that belt.
Nowhere else.
That belt. Or
Canada.
Canada can't even do that.
I better not see that belt on Canadian
I don't want
to.
If they come back here, I don't want to see that belt here.
No.
or if they do another joint show in the Tokyo Dome or whatever, God, better not see that belt there.
No.
Can't be there. And I leave you this: if that belt is ugly, I will never shut up about it.
That you can count on him talking
I
about.
still talk about that big ugly brown rectangle from New Japan. That's the worst belt ever made.
If
they make a belt worse than that,
you are a belt guy for sure. So,
and I just saw a promo from Jackson Drake on Evolve. Those belts are still hideous. Those are still disgusting.
Terrible. I don't know why I put this in my news. I thought it was kind of amusing. I think Maxine Dupree calls working with Nikki Bella, quote, a dream come true.
I mean,
no,
based on her wrestling ability, it makes sense. No, it makes sense.
It's not. So I think that I put this in just to say that it shows that she has some media savvy, right? Like, say that. You can't mean it. It can't.
I could see her because maybe that's where she gets her wrestling ability from.
She's the diva in the diva mold more than a...
I could see Chelsea Green saying that genuinely, because Chelsea Green like literally says like she would have fit in the Divas era, which is true. Not even like the Chelsea Green terrible wrestler, but
before Stephanie McMahon changed women's wrestling, right?
Right, the pre Stephanie McMahon era.
Right. Yeah. I only have one more thing.
So we've had the tournament going on for John Cena's last opponent, but then also someone else big retiring is Tanahashi over in New Japan, and so there's a lot of talk about his.
I saw this.
Nakamura was the pipe dream.
I'm hearing Okada.
Omega was thrown around, but I did see that he showed up. It is going to be Okada, I think.
That makes sense. That's pretty awesome.
Which makes sense. It's the next best choice, really, if they can get Nakamura, which like they was said to be a pipe dream anyway. So it wasn't like, oh, it's happening. It's like hopefully it could happen.
Right.
Okada's still a bit of a surprise too, because I don't think he's showed up to New Japan since he's signed to AEW.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. And he has a lot of history with Tanahashi, like Nakamura. Not as much, because I think Nakamura and Tanahashi go further back, obviously, to at least like maybe 02 or 03. But like when Okada came back from his infamous TNA run and like was like booked as a top guy, he took the IWGP title, the beautiful one, not the current one, the V4, the one that Omega would held, the best looking one. He beat Tanahashi for that, and then like I remember when he was kind of feuding with Nakamura when they were both in Chaos. Like I think they're both trying to beat Tanahashi, right? Like, so he does have history with Tanahashi. It makes sense. So it's a good pick, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It makes sense to me.
Probably nice for Okada to go back to Japan after a while,
and hopefully his style works with anyone, so he can pull a good match out of the.
I would hope so. Yeah.
The husk of Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Last thing I had, backstage report: 3 potential main roster call-ups.
Okay.
Care to guess? From NXT, obviously.
Oba?
They're all women.
Okay. That's interesting.
I think one you definitely would agree should go.
Jordan Grace?
Jordan Grace is one, and apparently the reports are she's already making main roster money.
Okay. Not good for her.
Which would probably be why she signed, right? Because if she's not going to take a pay cut. Because apparently TNA can pay. I don't know where they get their money from, but... So you got Jordan Grace. One who...
Bonnie?
No. One who you'll never get.
Okay, wait, no, I can do it.
One who one who has nothing left to accomplish really in NXT.
What does nothing accomplish? Are we taking JC Jane?
Correct. That's one. And then one who
are they considering Blake already?
No. Last I remember is she was in TNA doing things.
Not Lonnie though.
No. And she hasn't been on NXT TV in a while, as someone who
I won't know.
Wendy Chu.
Oh. She's on Evolve.
That one's described as a, quote, sink or swim situation. Like,
that's kind of fair. She's been there since 2.0. Exactly. I remember when they were saying, like, a year or something, or 2 years or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to decide real quick. Either we use you or not. And then, no, that's not what they do at all.
It's been like 4 years at least.
Right. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Last one I had was just... This is like almost anti-news, really. Royal Rumble 2026 is expected to have a lack of surprises.
Yeah, no kidding. No surprises.
How great to hear that the Saudi Rumble is already expected to suck.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Makes me even more excited. You'd think for the Rumble,
will we watch it?
For surprises, I will, because it's the Rumble.
Yeah.
Saudi Mania, like I said, we'll see. Yeah. That's like over a year away.
Right.
The Rumble's known for nostalgia and surprises, and Saudi is known for bringing old legends for nostalgia matches. So you would think that there'd be a lot of surprises in this one.
None.
But I don't know, because Maybe it's because they want to like make sure people watch it. So like, because apparently they might be like revealing the surprises on the Saturday night's main event the week before. So that's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, why put Saturday night's main event a week before the Rumble when you could just make the Rumble a bigger card? Like, it's okay to put more than 6 matches on a show. It's like,
Yeah,
I
but
will.
with 2 Rumbles, that's almost going to be 2 hours
Yeah,
already.
it's just a general thing because they tend to be conservative on their PLE matches. Instead, just they did intersperse PLEs every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll probably still watch because it's the Rumble, like I said, but I will revel in Saudi putting on a crappy Rumble if that happens to be the case.
Yeah.
It just would suck because the Rumble this year was awesome.
We did enjoy it.
Which feels like forever ago since main roster is back to sucking.
And I don't really pay much attention to it anymore, other than just to talk about it a little bit on here. But anyways, I guess that's it for news, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll move into our most in-depth review every week, taking a look at this Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, talk to me about Dynamite.
We got a quick recap of how we left things last week with the whole Hangman's Mojo thingy.
Which is crazy, but I did kind of forget. So I'm the guy they do these for. I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of, even though it was cool and I enjoyed it, I still like I like the reminder.
We get Shivani. He's about to talk about the national title, but then he gets interrupted by Joe and the Ops. Joe doesn't believe that Shivani had nothing to do with what happened last week, and consequences have come for him. They surround him in the ring, but then security come to intervene. Hangman then runs down to confront Joe, and the Ops kind of retreat. Joe says this couldn't have worked out better. Now they can take care of 2 problems at once. So they get back into the ring. Hook and Eddie Kingston, who are teaming with Hangman in the main event, they come down to even the odds. Kingston's swinging the crutch around. Hangman says he's here, and if Joe wants to handle his problem, he'll beat Joe's ass and his Wranglers right here. And then Hook, unfortunately, has to speak and says if they're fighting champions, they should put the trios titles on the line tonight. Joe gets like super pissed at Hook, he's like, don't ever talk to me like that, but he agrees to put the titles on the line anyways.
Yeah, I really like the idea that heel Joe wants to intimidate Tony Schiavone because he had to be part of Hangman's plan, right?
Yeah, and I like that the duality of Joe here too. You have like the calm, condescending, like intimidation with Schiavone, and then you have like the unhinged anger when he's yelling at Hook, right?
Right.
Kind of have like both sides of Joe's character here.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought that was a pretty cool idea. And again, he just intimidating an old commentator is a pretty strong heel move.
Schiavone is a really great sympathetic figure in segments like this too, right? So I think it's really smart playing the what you can use Schiavone for.
Me too.
Right. And everything else is solid. I don't get why the main event had to be made a title match. It just makes it clear that like, okay, now Joe and the boys are gonna win. Because otherwise, it could have gone either way if it was non-title, and I would have assumed that the Ops would lose. But now it's like, okay, they're not dropping the trios titles to
right. They are telegraphing the main event.
Yeah. Then we get Orange Cassidy taking on Claudio Castagnoli in what's billed as like match 1 of a Blood and Guts advantage battle. So instead of having one match for the Blood and Guts, aka their War Games advantage, we're getting a series of 3 matches. We have this one, then later on we'll get Darby Allin and Daniel Garcia, and if they need a 3rd match, spoiler, they will. We have Mox and Roddy on Collision.
I like the idea. We talked about it in the moment, right? It adds more matches that mean something and don't feel random.
Yeah, I agree.
So I kind of like that.
And it's an excuse to give you a match that like otherwise would be random.
Yeah.
And for the women, we only have 1 match on Dynamite, but then there's a 2nd match on Collision, and then the 3rd match will also be on Collision if need be. But that's not to say that we only have 1 women's match on the show. We also have a tag tournament match as well. Right. But yeah, we have Claudio and Cassidy here, which is always a good styles clash, I think.
Agree.
Cassidy hot out the gate with a couple suicide dives. Claudio, he gets Cassidy in military press and like throws him into the ropes, which is cool. We get a big swing from Claudio, hands in pocket turn come around from Cassidy where he lands on his feet, and then he also hit a running shotgun dropkick with his hands in his pockets. Backslide pin for 2 from Cassidy, and then a big PK. Big sit-up powerbomb for 2 from Claudio. Then he transitions into a crossface off of that kick out. But then Cassidy counters that into a pin for 2, and Claudio has to let go. Claudio, he tries to do the pop-up uppercut to Cassidy, but he kind of comes down with the orange punch, which I thought was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But then he goes for the orange punch again, and Claudio pops him up huge for the uppercut, and Claudio actually gets the win here, which I thought was refreshing to see.
Devastating looking finishing
Yeah.
uppercut. Looked
He's
awesome.
really good at making simple stuff look devastating sometimes. Like, I remember sometimes he's one with a clothesline, but it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Walter used to do that back in the day.
Yeah. Really good match. We have the classic, like, Claudio can dish out punishment like crazy, and Cassidy's one of the best at taking it. So like you said, that styles clash is really nice. Good match, cool looking finish. Like, I think you were kind of saying nice for Claudio to pick up a quality win somewhere along the line, because he doesn't do that a ton. And again, I just like this new format for the Blood and Guts. It gets a couple more matches that are meaningful on to the show. And I thought this was a good match. As you chew, I should have talked longer.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was trying to chew as quick as I could. Yeah, no, I liked it. And like I said, I'm really glad Claudio got a win, because he doesn't, like, I feel like wins for him are hit or miss. Like, sometimes he wins, sometimes he doesn't. He's not like a complete loser, but he's also not like known for winning.
And Cassidy's a pretty protected opponent to beat too, so that's good for him.
He's also someone not like unbelievable for Claudio to beat too, because Claudio's such a powerhouse, and Claudio's great at like dishing out punishment, throwing people around, and Cassie's one of the best at taking it. So it's just a really good combination.
I agree.
Here, I'm a little surprised Claudio got the win, but it makes sense. And like the heels should get the advantage. I think that always works better.
That's tends to be the way it goes, right?
Right, and so it's a good excuse to get Claudio a win here. I assume Death Riders take the advantage, so it makes sense. We get an interview so Renee's interviewing Briscoe and Fletcher has Callis with him. Briscoe mentions how a couple weeks ago he put a challenge for another title match, and he says Callis declined it, but he wants to answer straight from Fletcher. He says that Wrestle Dream Fletcher kicked him in the nuts, and that can't be a fulfilling victory for him. And he's trying to help Fletcher become a real man, so he suggests a no DQ match at Full Gear. Fletcher says he might like the idea, so Callis is kind of like on board with it, just because Fletcher's like, okay, I'll do it, kind of thing. And Callis adds if Briscoe wins, he gets the TNT title, but they want something for Briscoe. Briscoe's kind of thinking title versus career, but Callis says no. If you lose, you're joining the family and ditching the conglomeration forever. And eventually, Briscoe does agree to that.
Yeah, I kind of thought this was cool because
I really liked it.
Briscoe shows he's smarter than the average babyface, because, of course, the slimy heel manager is going to not want his champion to risk the title. So Briscoe's like, I'll appeal to the champion himself and sort of appeal to his pride to get that match. And then Callis is clever enough on the fly to be able, like, okay, so you've asked him and he's willing to, I'm going to quickly put a stipulation on it. He's looking to add another asset and like improve his faction, right? So do you think it sets up for a Briscoe win then?
I think so.
I do too.
I don't think there's any chance Briscoe joins the Callis family.
So I think, and it feels like, again, Briscoe's hot, so if you're gonna do it, we got to do it.
Yeah, and I would have thought they'd done it last month.
Me
but
too.
They're not doing, I think they're doing it here for sure.
And that frees up Fletcher to move up the card if that's where
I think so, right? I like the added stipulation and stakes this time. I like the Callis went that route instead of title versus career, because I think he knows not only would he be able to add another person to his faction, but also Briscoe would be way more miserable having to serve under him, opposed to just like being retired and have no job, right? So I like that too, and it does get them something out of it. And I think this match should be pretty great, because these two tend to work really well together, and Briscoe's been delivering in some of the hardcore matches. He had the ambulance match of Ricochet, which was great, and then the tables and tacks match that we saw.
And I'm not tired of these two facing each other, so I say go for it.
I agree. I'm not mad at this at all. And then also, even if Fletcher moves on, this opens the door for a 7th match down the line, because if Briscoe wins this, then there'll be 3-3, since we had the match 5 at Wrestle Dream, and that was supposed to be like it, right? But now we have match 6, so we'll see. Then we get another segment in the same spot, but then it must have been like either earlier on or later on, because it's Callis again, but now he's with Alexander and the Young Bucks. Renee asks if the Bucks have joined Callis, and Callis tells Renee not to rush them. He asked about, like, I think he said he sent them like an Escalade or something, and then he sent them like a gift package and whatever. He talks about how, like, when he saw the company treating the Bucks like jobbers, he said he would spend every last dime to get them in the family. He brings in everyone in the family to show off, and then he has Okada there, because it's like, you know, they were friends in the Elite, you know, he's like nudging them in that direction, right? Matt says they need a little bit more time, and then Callis and everyone give them space, but Okada kind of sticks around and he tells them not to take too much time, and kind of like smiles at them.
Yeah, the Bucks were leaning not full heel almost here.
I feel like we've been teasing that ever since the thing with Omega.
And my only
Right.
question is, if Callis is willing to spend all this money to lure them in, why not just offer them money to join? Instead of spending money to do this and send them, just be like, hey, join
That's
my
true.
family and I'll pay you money. And then they'd be like, we need money, right? So I don't know.
Maybe he doesn't want to spend that much. He
I
doesn't
guess.
actually want to spend every last
So I'm
time.
curious to see what the angle is with the Bucks, because they were,
Me too, because I'm not against babyface Bucks. I do prefer making fun of the hobo Bucks, but you know,
yeah.
we'll see where it goes. I am intrigued to see because it's interesting. We do have the $1 million trios match with them and Alexander against
Mhm.
Omega and Jurassic Express, which should be awesome because trios match at pay-per-view time. Yes, please.
And I don't think the Callis family needs any more people in it at this point, unless they're going to make some
No, the
cuts
Bucks
soon.
have already kind of operated in a satellite capacity,
Right.
so they don't really need to be fully in there.
I would agree.
And what I thought was worth noting is that Callis brought in the whole family, and Takeshita was not there.
Right. Conspicuous
So,
by his absence, as they say.
yes, that is, I think, definitely worth noting.
Hmm.
And Okada seemed lighthearted at the end, but I do have to wonder if he's kind of like urging the Bucks. He's like, "Hey, join us, or we're gonna beat the crap
I
out of you."
think
Like,
that was the implication. Like,
right?
you don't have forever to make this decision.
Yeah.
Right, before
So
we-
I think that'll probably, it'll facilitate the babyface turn. I could see maybe like we do Okada and you can do Okada, Alexander, and someone else against Takeshita in the box if Takeshita drops out.
Mhm.
I would
Yeah.
like Okada, Fletcher,
Be a fun match.
Alexander against Takeshita in the box would be disgusting.
It would.
Then we get another first round / extremely fought quarterfinal in the women's tag title tournament.
It's a battle of
have-
attrition to get this far in this
Yes.
tournament.
We have the so-called Babes of Wrath, which is Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron, taking on Mercedes Moné and Athena, kind of the
A super
belt
team.
collector team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of like the whole reason they're teaming together, which they were feuding and prior to the Owen, but now we have it like they both want more belts, so it's kind of like,
And you could see the ego on both of them being like, listen, we're the two best. If we just join
Yeah.
forces,
and
it
they're
should
both
be
heels,
easy.
so I think it kind of works,
Mhm.
right? So we get Monet holding the bottom rope down for Athena, suicide dive to Willow. Then what I thought was kind of cool is so Athena like kind of lifts Monet in like the gory bomb position, drops her into a splash on Harley. So I
Mhm.
thought that was kind of an interesting tag move because Harley and Willow also did, I think, either before this or after this, they did like the wheelbarrow splash spot and it didn't look great.
Yeah, you were like, I think that looks less impactful.
It did, right?
Yeah.
Like this, it's different when like you do the rotation and like then it's like added momentum. So if like Harley rolled Willow into the splash, but like no. Cameron with a double crucifix bomb, which looked all right. Then Willow with a double clothesline. Monet hits a backstabber to Willow. Then Cameron hits her with eat defeat. Willow hits Monet with a Death Valley driver, but misses the cannonball on Athena, who hits like she lifts her into a dominator position, which was impressive. Then drops her no code
Yes.
breaker, kind of. It's cool.
It was.
Then she holds Willow and Harley simultaneously hits like a Samoan drop fall slam. Like
Was not expecting
crazy work from Athena.
that. Yeah.
Billy Starks come down for an attempted interference, but Statlander comes to take her out. Willow with the gut wrench power bomb to Athena, then roll the dice or like kind of like the rolling
Looked
cutter
good.
from Harley. Athena sold it really well.
She did.
And they actually pick up the win. Harley pinning Athena, big deal.
I know. Yeah, I thought
Pretty good match.
this over-delivered for me. I really enjoyed it. I thought Athena looked awesome, but
No male tag matches on the show, really. So this is kind of like your slice of tag team wrestling, which makes sense. You got to have the women's division, at least for the tag teams, getting pumped up too, right? So
I thought
tag team wrestling is tag team wrestling.
the pace was really good. The crowd was into it. I thought Harley Cameron kind of looked like she could keep up with the rest of them, who are much more experienced.
Yeah, which her in-ring work hasn't always been like.
So in a tag team's probably good.
Right?
She can
No, I think
do
it's
a
perfect.
little
And
less.
Willow's incredibly reliable.
Yes.
So.
I didn't expect the super team of Monet and Athena to lose.
Me neither, but that also kind of added to the intrigue.
Exactly. So that
Because it was like how Private Party beat the Bucks in the first men's tag title tournament, right? So you kind of have like an upset here, and it makes sense because Harley and Willow have teamed together before.
Mhm.
Not saying like they're super established, but they are more established than this super team, right? Like we haven't. I think we've seen them team up once before, but not like regularly, right?
yeah, enjoyed the match already, and then like you said, when the team that I didn't expect to win wins, that adds to enjoyment a little bit more. So I guess,
Yeah.
like, do you think they're establishing Cameron and Willow as an actual team, and they're going to keep them?
I mean, they have a tag name, so yeah.
I think so, right? So yeah, this match I really enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and I thought Athena looked great. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the heel team looked really strong. I think they worked pretty well together. The Will and Harley are also a pretty good duo, so they're good to keep around. And good for Harley getting the pin, because it's a big deal. Even though it's a tag match, still pinning Athena is big. I think
Absolutely.
on ROH, I think Harley's getting a title shot in a couple weeks against Athena, which obviously she's not winning, but that's still good.
Forever champion. Does Athena ever lose that title?
No, it's been like, I don't even know when she won it now, but like, it's been forever. Then we get Shivani talking about the national title as planned at the beginning of the show. I love to like imagine like in kayfabe, let's say Joe and them didn't come out, and Shivani talks about the national title at the beginning of the show instead of here. How do they feel the runtime? You know what I mean? Because obviously they planned for Joe and the Ops to come out in in real life, but like let's say in kayfabe the show goes as planned. What's going in this slot instead of? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, then now we're running behind schedule, are we not?
Yes, right. We're going into overrun this week,
right?
Because of that.
Yeah. So yeah, Shivani talks about the announcement of the Casino Gauntlet match at Full Gear for the national title. A lot of wrestlers have been signing up. A couple of them are Shelton and Lashley, so they are coming out to say things. MVP says the most interesting thing in any room, and he talks about the history of the old national championship. He called it the international championship.
He did. You caught him.
Excalibur also did this.
He did.
They don't even know the difference.
They don't, because there isn't one.
That means this is stupid.
It might. Yeah.
Okay. The demand interrupt. Ricochet says they want to come on the syndicate the credit they deserve. Doesn't matter how old they are, they hobble themselves out anyways. He says every time he grabs the mic, he feels like he's saying, "I told you so." He said they would do everything to make sure the syndicate don't win gold, and they did that. MVP says nobody cares what Ricochet says, and the only thing he's done well is get beaten up by them. Ricochet says the demand will be met, and he will walk out as national champion.
The demand will be met. We've got our catchphrase.
There it is. I thought this is solid. It's just building hype for the gauntlet match, which I think is smart.
Yeah.
And I like knowing some of the people that are in it. I've seen some people saying that this is a good opportunity to give Shelton the title, and I don't disagree.
Yeah. I'd be fine with it.
He's been getting a lot of love from the fans. He's a veteran that I think deserves it. He's not a slouch.
He's still awesome.
Still going crazy. I mean, really, he's probably one of the best picks. I would also really like to see Ricochet with it. I'm not gonna lie, I think Ricochet's so complete now.
Yes. And
that he could hold his end of a title run.
His crowd work here I thought was really good. And I just again, his heel run has just been awesome, and I did not know it was possible. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
I could see Ricochet winning and then maybe Shelton chases him.
And this program with the Hurt Syndicate has really put his group on the map too. And I like that because it feels like we've seen the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand in like every combination. The Casino Gauntlet kind of provides a new format for them to engage in what they've been doing.
And even commentary mentioned the possibility of Lashley and Shelton facing off.
Right. So, yeah, I think Ricochet is great, and I can't believe I'm saying that heel Ricochet is great, but he is.
Yes. I'm wondering who else we'll potentially see in this match, because I feel like there's a lot of people that would be probably good for the title. I was saying to you, I feel like this could be the site of Jay White's return.
Yeah, that'd be cool. How crazy is it to say that like Ricochet works perfectly as a mouthpiece for a monster a monster tag team heels? That's nuts.
Yeah. But like I'm not sure who else I'd like to see with the title. I mean, because like I feel like I'm gapping on some people, but like, or even someone like Perry, I think would be interesting if you wanted to give him a singles run. But I don't think
they do right now.
But I think Ricochet and Shelton are kind of the ideal choices. If Briscoe wasn't already in a match, I would say Briscoe's kind of perfect. You could put him down the line. You could have Fletcher win it down the line. I guess not in the initial one, but I really feel like this is going to be Jay White coming back, because I've been telling you, I've been like kind of picking up some breadcrumbs. I think like I showed you, he tweeted like it was like ready ? Or something. Like I feel like he's on the cusp of being ready. I haven't seen him mentioned anywhere. Like I remember we had in the news cycle months ago that like, oh yeah, Jay White's nowhere near close to returning because his I think it was broken hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was worse than we thought. I think he got injured just before Dynasty, so it's been like since April, I want to say, which is crazy. But then like he tweeted that, and then I was saying to you on Snapchat, AEW posts like stuff to their story, usually like highlights of whatever show just happened, and they randomly posted clips of the Full Gear main event last year, which is Mox and Cassian. There was like Christian trying to cash in, but then Jay White comes to stop him. And I was like, that's kind of an odd. It was weird. They posted that, and then they posted other parts of the match later. So it's like they posted the Jay White part first. Initially, that was like the only part they had posted, and I thought it was really strange to just put that there.
That you would think it's not for no reason, but
right. Usually,
you like, also want him back so badly that you might be reading into things for sure.
But like usually they'll put stuff that's related to whatever, or like they'll put old stuff. But it's like, oh, Revolution's coming up. Let's put a old Revolution clip up there,
right?
And so yes, Full Gear's coming, which could be also part of it. But it's like also you don't have to. You could have just posted Mox and Cassidy,
right,
or something. So it does make me curious, and yeah, I've definitely we talked about it a bunch already, but I definitely miss Switchblade, and because AEW's been doing so well right now. That it sucks that Switchblade's not there,
and so well without so many top guys right now.
And you were saying this too, and I thought it was a good point that we're kind of missing people in terms of top guys like Ospreay and Swerve. Still, Jay White's one of them, right?
I think so.
And I think it would be good timing to have him come back too, because I don't think he needs to win the national title. I personally don't really want him to, because if it's gonna be a bit of a traveling title, I don't want him to win it and then not really be around, right? I want him like on Dynamite. So I feel like you have him return in the gauntlet to like, it's just an easy way to bring him back, right? And it's a cool surprise, because like last time the surprise was like we had Juice come out, right? Stuff like that.
Yep.
I think you have him come back there, give him a good showing, but then I would definitely go with Shelton or Ricochet to win it. And then I feel like we put him in the C2, because usually the C2's starting right after Full Gear, right?
Yes.
I think last year started like the week 2 weeks after or something. Like at once Full Gear's done, we're like almost right at the C2, which I'm super excited.
Me too.
It's almost C2 season, which is
big fans.
Fantastic.
We are.
Well, yeah, last year was great. I think last year we didn't miss a match.
We didn't. We actually went to Collision and stuff went to it, meaning watched it, not went to it. You know what I mean?
I'll try to do that again for sure, I think, and we'll try to keep up, I think.
For sure.
Depends on what the field would be. But then I think you put Jay White in the C2, just because like he was in the first one, and I remember being really good, because I remember I think it was the Gold League final was him, Mox, and Swerve. I remember that was pretty sick. But yeah, I think you get him back, since him wrestling regularly, and then you could have him go to the finals maybe even. I think the C2 has to be Takeshita, because
you think so?
I think, well, yeah, because so I'll talk about it now just because I'm on about it. I wonder if, like, because we've been slow burning the Takeshita Okada thing so much, right? And you have to think that I would think Okada's title, even though it's the unified one now, I feel like that's got to still be up for grabs in the C2, right? So I think
so.
Or I would like it better if Okada's not in the tournament, but he's like, because the thing with Okada being the champion and being in the tournament last year, it's like he's kind of guaranteed to go to the finals, right?
So you'd rather that whoever wins it just gets a shot at Okada.
Yeah, right. And so I would like if Takeshita wins the C2, and then you could have Okada turn on him prematurely, and because like he's going for his title or something like that. You could have the C2 be like the climax of their dissolution, right? Which I think would be kind of perfect. But yeah, I think like I've seen a lot of people kind of saying the Takeshita Okada thing for the C2, which I think would be perfect. I think it'd be cool to have something to build towards within the tournament. If Okada's in the tournament, I think that's fine, but I'd rather him like it just be for a shot at him, because then it's like, I mean, sure, you can say, oh yeah, Takeshi's still gonna win, which is fine, but then it's like at least a little more in doubt, or at least the finals are a little more in doubt, just in terms of like last year it was Ospreay and Okada, and once Okada kind of got close to you in the semis, we're like, okay, Okada's clearly at least getting to the finals, so then like whoever, if anyone takes the title from him, it's like they still took the title from him, right? But anyways, enough about that. Yeah, hopefully Jay White comes back, but I'm excited for the Casino Gauntlet. We always really like them. I think whether it's been on TV or the pay-per-view ones, we've had a couple, I think, now on pay-per-view. they're always really fun. Like I think it's a really great format.
Casino Gauntlet and the Iron Survivor are two new match types that I really enjoy.
I agree, yeah. And I like the Casino Gauntlet 'cause it's like different from what WWE does. It's
That's
like
right.
it's kind of like their Rumble, and it's kind of like Aztec Warfare, where it's like not
Which
just
was
over the
awesome.
top rope.
Yeah,
Right?
it makes it so much better to not just have over the top rope.
It's like a non-elimination Aztec Warfare, which I think we've mentioned before, way back, because like obviously it's just like it can end at any time and it's sudden death, which they don't tend to mention that. But.
No.
Anyways, Jurassic Express next. They're just walking backstage, which makes it look like they were ready for a match, even though like they didn't wrestle on the show. I thought it was kind of strange. Perry is just talking about how some things like friendship are more important than money, but he knows the Bucks are going through a tough time, so he puts like $100 bill on a wooden table and like stabs it with a knife.
Because he's the knife maker guy, right? So
yeah, I do kind of like that because like one, it's real life, integrating part of his real life. Two, it's kind of like survival man type thing. Like it kind of makes sense for.
Is it an olive branch to the Bucks too? Maybe like.
Yeah, he does seem to be kind of like having sympathy for the Bucks, and then it's also like the knife thing. It feels like a survival type thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it kind of fits with the Tarzan vibe in a way. And then like Luchasaurus goes to grab the money and Perry has to just like leave it, like he's like the pet, which
that made me laugh.
Yeah. Luchasaurus was good comedic value there, I thought.
Yep.
But there's not much else here really. I feel like we're doing kind of a loose build to the trios match since we've done most of the build prior to the tag match at WrestleDream, which was a great match, by the way.
It was.
And I think the story now is like kind of the Bucks' burgeoning face turn, especially with Omega being in the trios match now. I'm curious to see how that'll pan out because we kind of have like them kind of teasing like they're going to reunite or be on good terms again with Omega, but then that's going to come into conflict with them like needing money.
You're right. It is.
I was gonna say, I wonder how you split $1 million 3 ways, but I could see Callis just like having Alexander there to help the Bucks win, and like then they split the $1 million.
They get it all,
Bucks, right? Kind of like what Moxley did with the Bucks
to try and get them into the group too.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Then we get Darby and Daniel Garcia in the second Blood and Guts Advantage match. Again, Daniel Garcia's new Death Riders theme. I love it every time. It sounds so cool. And
it is. I actually notice it as the guy who doesn't notice those things. I like his theme song as well.
Right? Like you hear the Death Riders intro and it's like the same for everybody or whatever. And then like his theme hits and it's like this like deep toned brooding thing. Like I keep waiting for them to put it out somewhere because like I'd be listening to that for sure. I'm listening to wrestling themes most of the time when I walk around because you can just kind of pause them whenever. It doesn't matter. I've been listening to Roman Reigns' Tribal Chief theme lately. The first one though. Not the one he uses now. I really don't like it. It's like a lame derivative version. You can't even blame Def Rebel because they're both Def Rebel songs. But anyways, Tope threw the ropes from Darby. Garcia, he's doing some leg targeting on the floor. Darby, he gets Garcia in a guillotine choke, but Garcia's able to get out. Then Garcia hits a superplex. He hangs on, but Darby counters and hits a Scorpion Death Drop, and they're both down. Garcia does the spot where he puts Darby's head between the steel steps and the ring post and drop kicks the stairs.
Looked pretty good.
It did. Yeah, it did. Pac comes to ringside, clobbers Darby with a lariat behind the ref's back. Darby's barely able to beat the count back in. Garcia like does the move to stay, and then he locks in the Dragon Tamer. But then Darby's able to counter out, gets Garcia in the Scorpion Death Drop, and he gets the win. So we'll push it to match 3 on Collision with Mox and Roddy. Pac attacks Darby after the bell. Cassie runs down for the save. He gets beat up. Mox beats down O'Reilly as Roddy also gets beat down the ring. They came down. Pac with a pile driver to Cassie, which looked awesome. Neutralizer to Darby from Claudio. Claudio holds O'Reilly up for Mox. Roddy jumps over and knees Mox, and the Death Riders retreat.
Yeah, I thought Garcia looked really aggressive and vicious, but that most people do against Darby, right? Like we say, you're lining up to face Darby Allin if you're a heel. I thought Darby sold really well after the Pac interference too.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned they kept a brisk pace because they did seem to go long, right?
Yes, I thought the result of this is obviously telegraphed because wrestling almost never has any best of anything series that doesn't go to the maximum matches or falls or whatever, right? So
even 2 to 3 falls matches, it's always interesting when they go 2-zip because
there was one or two that have, but it's super rare. But this was a
I
pretty...
remember one in terms of 2 or 3 falls matches that did that was I think it was Shelton Benjamin and Gable faced the Usos at Royal Rumble in 2018, and that one I think the Usos went 2-0.
If you say so. I thought this was a pretty good TV match for the middle of a show, episode of Dynamite. And again, matters a bit more because it is for the blood and guts advantage. And I thought the beatdown after the match looked really good, other than like they're afraid of Roderick Strong. He's the one
I
that
did think that was kind of funny.
he hits a knee and then they all like scurry. Like
hey, they don't want
cockroaches.
their backs broken, okay?
And maybe it's like, does Marina Shafir not want the Death Riders to hurt her man? Is that going to come out at some point where she's like, they go easy on him because of her?
I would actually kind of like that.
Because it hasn't been acknowledged, right? I don't think at all that they're a couple.
No,
married.
the only time was, I think it was at September to Remember that Mox faced Roddy. And like Roddy and Shafir had that stare down, and like it's kind of like,
yeah.
But it was
if
more
you know,
treated
you know,
like
kind of thing.
Yeah, it was treated as like an insider reference,
Yeah.
not like, oh hey, these two are married.
I agree.
But it's also like they never mention it with Mox and Renee either, so
No.
I don't think they're going to mention it here.
No, I thought the match was good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too. Garcia barely wins, so it was kind of never in doubt. And also, like you were saying, we always go to a third match.
You have to, always. We go to the maximum number of whatever in wrestling.
I will say this, the only reason I feel like they don't go to a third match with the women is maybe because the third match would be on the same show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Unless I still feel like they will go to the third match with the women, but the second match of their series is on Collision, and then it's like, oh, if we get a third match, it'll be on the same show. So I feel like that one, there's a chance the heels would just sweep it.
I kind of hope they do, just because that's more realistic. It does happen, right? Not everything goes the maximum all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Why not, right?
Yes.
Then we hear from FTR. Cash talks about how they were supposed to become 3-time champions in London at Forbidden Door, but Brodito took that away from them, so they have a bone to pick. He wants Brodito to come so they can talk face to face. The music hits. They don't arrive because we cut to Stokely backstage with Brodito locked in their locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Dax says he's really looking forward to a gentleman's handshake before the match, but they have the second best thing with Bandito's family at ringside.
I told you he was going after Grandma.
Yeah,
I knew it.
He did. FTR go up and Dax introduces them in Spanish. He says it's heartwarming that Bandito's grandmother attended her first match to support Bandito. He asks how old she is and takes the mic away before she can talk, and he answers himself saying she doesn't look a day over, I think 113 or something.
Because she started to say 70 something, I think, in Spanish. Yeah.
And he makes numerous comments on how old she is. He says Bandito's become such a star. He cuts her off from speaking again. And he says she's probably embarrassed to call Bandito and Gravity, who is there, Gravity cameo.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably embarrassed to call them grandsons. And if she's good, if she's a good girl, maybe they'll make her their abuela.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great. Grandma slaps Dax. Gravity tries to fight them. He gets beaten down. Brody King punches through the door, grabs Stokely. FTR going for a spike pile driver on Gravity. Stokely comes out running, followed by Brodito. FTR retreat.
Yeah.
I thought this was great. This is another really entertaining segment from FTR.
Yes.
This one and the Beth Phoenix one at the show after All Out. I thought those are some really good segments from them.
Dax is so good at just being a prick, right? And
he's just really good. I think he did this tactic with, I think, someone like one of the fans once too, where like he keeps like asking questions and pulling the mic. Yeah. Like it's such a great tactic and it's so simple, but it's especially just great at making them look pricks. And Bandito's grandma was such a great sympathetic character.
She's awesome. That's the thing, right? It's such low hanging fruit to go after an old lady, right? But they do it because they're despicable heels. And Brody punching through the door, I thought was a pretty cool visual.
It's a little comical, but I thought it was cool.
And it's a simple way to add heat to this feud. Bandito's grandma is great. Like, she's perfect in this role, I thought. So yeah, I really love mega heel FTR, and it's really simple to just have them do stuff like this. And I find Dax really believable as just a prick to people. So I like this.
I agree. Then we get a quick Blood and Guts hype package, and we move on to the first advantage match for the women, which is Mina Shirakawa, who's filling in for Queen Aminata. I'm not sure what her injury or illness or whatever is, but Aminata is out, which I wonder if that has to factor into the tournament. Like, I wonder if Hart and Blue were always meant to win. I feel like they probably were, but there's a chance that maybe not.
There is a chance that it's an
But we
audible.
get Mina taking on Megan Bain.
And
I
Storm
love that.
joins commentary, right? And
Great.
she had some issues with Excalibur at some point, so I wasn't sure, like, is
I
she
really,
leaning heel? Is there some? I don't care that
I
much,
really
but
don't know.
and you don't care either, I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't care either. Slingshot Poncho from Mina. We get a monster German suplex from Bane. Superplex from Bane. Then she goes for a powerbomb, gets sent into the corner with Hurricane Rana from Mina. Diving Sling Blade follows for 2. We get Shafir coming to commentary to choke out Storm from behind. This distracts Mina. Bane with a jumping clothesline, running Liger Bomb, gets the win. Heels beat down Mina after the bell. Storm comes in with a chair for the save. Triangle of Stupidity come down to beat the faces down. The baby faces come to make the save. The big brawl. Monet comes down. She thinks about joining the brawl, does not. Statlander attacks her, and then the faces clear the ring.
Yeah, I thought the match was pretty good. Megan Bain is a beast, and she looks
2
good.
women's matches on the show, and both of them were good.
Hitting
That's pretty good.
Her power moves, that looks great. The running Liger Bomb is pretty cool. And then Mina's
Cool. What was her finisher before? Oh, it was the F5.
F5, yeah. And she's got some nice flurries in there, and the crowd's always rooting for her.
Super popular, and she's got a good moveset, so I think she's great value.
And the post-match stuff all makes sense with the tournament story and the Blood and Guts story running kind of all running concurrently, right? So they do seem to be finding ways to better highlight the women's division lately.
I agree. I think it's been pretty solid lately.
We're getting multiple women's matches sometimes, right? We're like this week we did that both delivered.
And both of them were good, which is I think even better, because usually when we get both 2 women's matches, sometimes one of them's like lackluster, they're both lackluster, and it's like, oh, we got more than one, but it's like it's not like notable in a meaningful way. I think this week, like, both of them had stakes, both of them were actually decently entertaining. So I think it's pretty good. And I feel like, because I remember we were looking at how many women's matches were in Dynamite the one year or whatever. I remember like way back, but now I feel like we've had at least a few times this year we've had multiple.
Yes, and
I feel like this isn't the first time we're saying there's multiple women's
a couple
matches.
of our complaints last year and maybe past couple years seem to be addressed by AEW in terms of women's division and tag division.
Tag teams, yeah.
Just sort of ramping up, right? And then
really happy with tag division.
Trios is, if they can get that going, then I'll be happy.
Kind of getting, like, we had a title match this week. I feel like Trios division is still needing some work,
but it's more visible than it was. I think
it's not completely on life support, yeah. I like that also. Like, the women's division's getting better, the tag division's getting better, and they're kind of intersecting with the new titles, right? So yeah, I think AEW, like I said, I feel like they've really made some improvements this year. And while the viewership might not always reflect that, and maybe not everyone's flocking to AEW still, I think like they do deserve credit for improving things this year. I think I've been saying it repeatedly. I've been really happy with where not only Dynamite is at, but just the general direction of the company. I feel like the big story with Hangman and Mox really paid off, and then we've had some really good matches on regular TV, like especially the multi-man tag matches being back has really helped, I think, the show. Just overall, the overall quality of the show with all these trios and 8-man tags and tag team matches has been great. The tag division's back, that was AEW's like bread and butter back in the day, was the tag division, right? And I think you look at WWE now, and I saw someone complaining about how Triple H can't book champions in there, right? Because like I talked about the Julia thing earlier, but then like the Judgment Day were the exact same thing. Before they dropped the titles to AJ Lee, they defended them like once in over 100 days, like a similar amount of time to Julia, but like even less defenses, right?
They love using the tag titles as just like accessories. If you're like the faction that's big right now, someone in there will have the tag titles, right? Yep. Whereas AEW's starting to, and the women too, it used to be in AEW like only the women involved in the title hunt got any real story, right? And now there's more stories going on, so it's a lot better. Yeah.
And like with Triple H booking champions, it's always like they stop wrestling. It's like how Io, when she won the world title, she barely defended it as well, right? But then now Io is like in a prominent storyline. Or was, at least, with the whole Asuka thing, right? But yeah, like AEW's really brought a lot of things back, and like they've had some major stories going on. Like the Bucks thing has been huge, and I think like, I mean, even when the TV wasn't as good, the pay-per-views were still great, but the pay-per-views have been great this year as well. Like with main roster, another thing that fell off too is I think before Mania we were like really high on the PLEs because Rumble was great, and I think we both really enjoyed Chamber as well.
Yep.
Like if I look at the best of, they're both still there. Like, and I stand by that. The Rumble was great because both Rumbles were good. Remember Cody and Owens had that ladder match was just super killer,
crazy.
And like I think it was Machine Guns DIY 2 or 3 falls, which is like underwhelming, but it was good.
Underwhelming. Yeah,
but like both chamber matches were great because remember when Cargill beat the Tar to Naomi? That was awesome. And then like the men's chamber match, which I did see a clip from WWE Unreal where the whole finish where like Cena has Punk in the STF, he's crawling out, then Rollins stomps him, and then like Cena has to sleeper while like Rollins is shouting die. Apparently that whole finish was Punk's idea, which credit where credit is due. Great finish.
It was cool.
So like that fall off too because the Mania kind of sucked and we haven't really watched PLE since. Right? I think we watched SummerSlam, but like didn't it take us like a week or two to watch SummerSlam?
I think
that was the one where we were crazy behind on it. We were. Because that was also the 2-night SummerSlam, which was such a slog. But yeah, anyways, point being, AEW's really been killing it this year. And yeah, like having 2 women's matches on the show that were good is really nice to see. And I don't know if I talked about the match a ton, but like Bane is a beast.
She's a monster.
They really dropped the ball with how. Remember they built her. They like kind of gave her that build with the title match with Storm, but like she never spoke, so there's like
we didn't know anything about her,
and she lost, right? Yeah. So we knew she was going to. So I really hope we could build her up again at some point because Bane is so great. She's so like. That's the one you should be like. She should have a title run like Cargill, except she'd be able to wrestle. Like imagine she got brought in like Cargill. Right. Like I could see her having a long run with the TBS title. I think that'd be great. So I'm really happy to see Bane get a win here, kind of like Claudio. Like it was nice to see her get a win. And Mina losing isn't a huge deal.
It's not
because Bane is killer.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, I imagine the heels probably take the advantage here too.
I think so.
It just makes sense. And yeah, this was good. And then we move on to our main event, which is the Ops defending the trios titles against Hangman, Hook, and Eddie Kingston. Good to see Eddie on Dynamite since he's been mostly collision bound since he came back.
Yeah, I wish they would have done a little something more with his return because it just feels like he's kind of there and it wasn't important that he returned, and I kind of wanted it to feel important, but
at least he returned on the pay-per-view main card instead of Hater.
True.
Returning on the pre-show line.
Yeah.
We get Hobbs with a bunch of backbreakers to Hook, which becomes like the running storyline. Hook's back is compromised. We then get him missing corner close, and Hook throws him with an exploder suplex, but then his back is kind of iffy. Kingston's facing peril over the break. Then we make the tag out to Hangman for the hot tag flurry. Hobbs catches a plancha from Hangman to the floor, but Hangman counters, sends him in the ring post. We get Hangman going for a buckshot Shibata. Hobbs pulls him off and kind of slams on the apron a couple times, which was good.
Yep.
We get Hangman and Hobbs fighting up the stage. Hobbs counters a shot from Hangman, and he hits the world's strongest slam off the stage through a table. Looked pretty killer, and Hangman's out for the rest of the match.
Yeah, it was a good spot.
Kingston fights off Joe and Shibata, hits an exploder Shibata. Hook tags in. He tries to get Hobbs in the red rum. Hobbs counters, submits Hook in the torture rack, and the Ops retain the titles as expected.
Yeah, this did not have a ton of time. I noticed when it started, like it
did feel pretty short.
But it kind of made it feel frantic too, which isn't a bad thing necessarily.
And I like the story told with Hook's back as well. That kind of gave something to focus on, and it made the finish make more sense too. Like the damage was already done, so it was an easy submission. Right. And Hobbs is also
hitting that move looks effective, and they found Hobbs kind of looks strong here, right? Because they needed to take Hangman out, and that was an effective spot to get rid of Hangman. And then you kind of had a little bit of Eddie being the only man left because Hobbs is hurt and Page is taken out. So the crowd loves Eddie as the underdog. So they formally put him in that spot.
I did just see someone post a clip of I think it was the go home segment between Kingston and Mox before their I Quit match. And I will say, heel Eddie Kingston back in like when he first came to AEW, that was something else, man. Like Eddie's always great, but he was so crazy back then.
He can make you believe whatever. He's so talented on the mic and so real that whatever character they want him to do, I kind of believe it, right?
He is great.
So Page is out, so Hook and Eddie can't hang with the Ops shorthanded, so that all made sense. I thought it was like a solid main event, but it wasn't amazing.
Babyfaces aren't even like a full unit anyways. They're not a regular team like the Ops, so it makes sense.
Felt a bit quick, but it was good.
The results never in doubt, but it was a good match, I thought.
Me too. overall, I really enjoyed this episode. The matches were all good, and a couple of them over-delivered. And I went back and looked. Every single match had stakes attached, whether it was a championship or an advantage match, right? There was nothing that was just a match for no reason. So that while the Dynamite is missing some star power, I think this episode did a good job of keeping my interest. Even the segments like the FTR thing I thought was really entertaining, right? So there was
I liked the Fletcher Briscoe one as well.
right. So there was just things all kind of made sense. Everything flowed really well. I went B plus. I thought it was not quite an A show, but pretty close to it actually.
I agree. I would have liked. I think like all the matches were good, and all of
But
them having
not-
stakes was really nice, but nothing wowed
Right.
me.
We're not sitting here. My favorite, I think you're the same, is when I'm like, if you didn't see Dynamite, go find this match, right? And I don't feel any that way about any of these, but none of them were bad either.
Yeah, I agree. Generally, really, it was just like really. I think maybe not a blowaway show, but just the quality was incredibly consistent
I
here.
agree.
Like I don't think there's anything bad.
And it went by
Right,
pretty
like,
quickly too.
I
Honestly.
agree. I don't remember disliking anything here. Like you look at the matches, I think the opener was pretty strong. The women's tag match, I think, was
I really
over-delivered,
liked it.
like you said. Garcia Darby was pretty good too. We got a second women's match, which is worth noting, and also it was also good.
Mhm.
And then the main event was short but good too. And then the segments, the FTR one was really entertaining. The Hurt Syndicate stuff was fine. It was short with Ricochet and whatever. And both of the Callis segments I thought were good. And even the opening bit with Joe intimidating Shivani I thought was well done. So we had a lot of quality here, and I would agree with the B plus too. It's almost an A minus, but not quite there.
Agree. All right, that wraps up Dynamite talk. We'll move into some trivia talk. Segment we call Off the Top of His Head. All right, I don't know where I got the idea from, but I decided maybe because we were talking about Julia's longest reign or long reign with whatever. So I went with shortest title reigns. And I asked for WWE, WWF, WCW, AEW only to give you an idea. So I'm going to give you the title and the sort of the year, and even it might even have the month possibly, and you try and tell me who it was, right? We'll see how this goes. So starting with number 15, the WWE Championship from January 31st to February 1st, 1999.
99. Oh,
So a one-day reign.
Mankind?
Correct. Wow, why would you be able to figure that out?
He had like 3 short runs in 99. This was like him feuding with The Rock. This was when like they had the That'll Put Butts in Seats, you know, the match
Yes,
on Raw, and then
yes.
the empty arena match as well, and the I Quit match where Foley takes like 11 unprotected chair shots.
That was tough to watch, yeah, even in the moment. WWE Championship, less than one day, 1998 in March.
Less than one day?
Yeah,
March of 98?
yep. Any guess?
Sid?
No, but it is a big man.
Taker? Kane?
Yes, Kane, correct.
In March?
It says so. Won it.
I
and
feel like it
dropped-
has to be a little later because it was after King of the Ring, and so it had to be after Mania. So I don't think it's March. The year's right, but
Okay. WWE Championship, 4-day reign in 99.
4 days. Is it Foley again? I feel like
No.
The Rock?
No. You're thinking a wrestler. That's the wrong mindset.
Oh, Vince.
Yeah, Vince. AEW Women's World Championship, 25 days. Does not give the year. She also she also held the longest title reign, but the second run was short.
She did then.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
AEW World Championship, 3 days.
Punk.
Right. WCW World Championship. Oh, it says post 2001.
So-
Approximately 24 minutes.
Jericho?
Yes, before it was unified. Good.
Okay. Technically that's in 2001. You could say post
Yeah.
WCW sale.
True. WCW World Heavyweight Championship, less than one day in 99.
Nash?
No, but you're thinking along the right tier
Hogan?
of wrestlers. No.
Sting?
Yes. It says won the title, then lost the same night in a multi-man impromptu match.
Makes sense.
World Heavyweight Championship WCW, less than one day, 2000.
Benoit?
was handed the title by Kevin Nash, then lost.
Bret Hart?
No, lost to Jarrett. Then Jarrett won it the same night.
Booker T?
No, I don't remember this. Flair, they're saying.
Maybe, probably.
WWE World Heavyweight Championship, 5 minutes, 10 seconds.
McIntyre?
His first reign with the newer version of the World Heavyweight Championship was very short. Doesn't give a year.
McIntyre?
No.
Punk?
Yes. When was a 5-minute reign?
SummerSlam.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Beat Gunther, lost to Rollins.
Right. So recent. WWE World Heavyweight Championship, 45 seconds at TLC 2011.
Big Show.
Correct. So that's right. I don't remember because I never know. I don't remember these things.
Him and Mark Henry had like a chairs match or whatever. Then he got his ass beat after he beat
Henry
for the title.
Cashed in.
Daniel Bryan, yes, yeah.
Got it.
A lot of them are cash in related.
WWE Championship, 4 minutes, 7 seconds at SummerSlam 2013.
Oh, Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
Speak of the devil.
And then who cashed in?
Orton.
Correct. Number 4, WWE Championship, 3 minutes, 33 seconds. 1 Elimination Chamber 2010.
Oh, Cena.
And then what happened?
I don't know, Vince threw out Batista for like no reason.
Exactly. Number 3, WWE Championship, about 2 minutes. Money in the Bank 2016.
Oh, Rollins.
Cashed in on by?
Ambrose.
Correct.
I always remember that night because I remember that was like before I was old enough where we would watch like the whole shows, like the whole pay-per-views, right?
Yeah.
So I remember like that was back when like we actually watched Raw because I would have been like we're pretty new to watching wrestling still because Ambrose was like my guy.
He was your guy.
So I don't remember if I saw Ambrose win the briefcase or not. I don't think I did. But like so we watched however much of the Money in the Bank, right? And then I don't remember why, but like so someone was at the door and you guys were answering them or whatever, and so I just turned on Raw because like, I didn't want to wait because I was like we were just watching it live, so I just like turned on Raw. I was waiting or whatever, and the first thing I see is Ambrose walking in with the belt, and I was like losing my crap.
You were a very happy boy.
That's like ingrained in my brain.
Core memory.
I remember that, yeah, because I remember like literally someone was at the door because you weren't. I remember you weren't standing there when I turned it on. And Ambrose was there with the belt, and I was like, holy shit,
hyped.
Yeah.
Number 2, so the second last one, penultimate, if you will. WWE Championship, 2 minutes, 6 seconds, WrestleMania 9.
Oh, Yoko.
Correct. What happened?
Hogan.
Hogan. What happened? Hogan happened. That's right. Doesn't work for me, brother.
So many short runs with the world titles.
Number 1 is WWE Championship as well. Approximately 1 minute, 48 seconds, 1988.
Oh, Andre?
Yes. And what happened there?
It was the whole like twin ref thing, right, with Hogan, and then like it got vacated, or he gave it to DiBiase.
That's right.
And that was rendered null and void.
Right. Very good. All right, you crushed that. That was a pretty good one. I enjoyed that. Back to talking wrestling. My turn to take the wheel here as we'll talk about some Raw and some NXT. We call it Highspots and Restholds. Okay, so taking a look quickly at Raw, because who cares, am I right? Some things did happen, though, that I was a little confused, intrigued. I don't know what the right word is. But I guess, first of all, I did watch a bit of Saturday night's main event. I told you I watched the opening match with McIntyre and Cody, and there was some clunkiness in the middle. A ref got in the way of a corner spot, and then they take two'd it.
On purpose or no?
No, not on purpose. And then also Cody was like off of that miscue, selling his knee like crazy, but then everything he did after that was kicks and springboards, so it kind of bothered me. Like selling, but then all leg-based offense was a little bit much for me. And then I watched Cargill basically squash whoever she squashed.
Right.
There you go.
That's all she's keeping.
But again, I think this was the best use of her. She's a heel. She's a monster. Have her kill people for a while. I don't know.
But it's not going to be very entertaining for long.
And then did I watch anything after that? What other matches were there? I think that was it.
Dom, Penta, Rusev, and then
I started watching it, which apparently was the match of the night, but I did not watch it. But anyways, Raw, I checked out some things. At first, it looked like Punk's first program as champion was going to be with Logan Paul because he comes out and interrupts, right? And I'd kind of almost forgotten about Logan Paul, but I guess he is a super over heel to face Punk, but then some things change at the end of the show too a little bit.
I don't understand what they did.
So then Paul attacks the Vision as they were attacking Punk, so I wasn't really sure what was going on here. And then he ends up getting overpowered by the Vision, tsunamied by Reed, and Punk has to make the save with the chair. So you have like Punk saving Logan Paul, which is strange. Anyways, the Judgment Day women beat Bella and Vaquer in a tag match. I think there was shenanigans involved, leading to Perez hitting the pop rocks to Bella. And you could see like Roxanne Perez, who is like super young or whatever, is having to tell Nikki Bella to like, what's going to happen here? Like, no, you're supposed to take the pop rocks now, so get in position. Nikki Bella's so bad. She's got a lock on worst female wrestler for me. Even though I don't see her a lot, like, she's terrible at all aspects of wrestling and being a believable human.
Great, but I feel like this is a drop off.
Yes. So. Video aired of Cena announcing, I guess we could have put this in news, a 16-man tournament, right, to decide who will be his opponent for his last match. And that will be on
the rumor mill, yeah.
Saturday Night Main Event. And then apparently it's the same video that was on Saturday Night's Main Event as well. So I don't know even who
I
to
saw
guess.
One of the matches is Nakamura and Sheamus.
Okay.
And then I forget
who
the
do you
other
think
one
his final opponent will be? It has to be somebody. Wow. And then that's just the final putting Gunther over on his way out the door thing?
Yes.
I guess.
They've also mentioned that like there's going to be people outside the company in this, which a lot of people are saying, oh, it's Edge. I doubt it.
Me too.
I mean like Triple A is out of the company, TNA is out of the company. I was going to say,
who in TNA would they want?
Joe Hendry. He's not going to win, but like they have it for the moment. I
get that's true. They are a moment generating company rather than wrestling company.
I forget the other Raw match. I know one of them is the Sheamus Nakamura one that I mentioned, and then on SmackDown they announced Uso Miz. Great.
Miz as his final opponent. Callback. He has to avenge that loss.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then the other match is LA Knight against a mystery partner.
Oh.
Not partner, opponent.
Intriguing.
I will say this. I texted you about this too, about the Punk thing. I forgot to mention that. Like, he's mentioning potential people to face, like, and somehow mentioned McDonough in there.
Right.
I was like, that's crazy.
Awesome.
That's never going to happen.
No.
But it makes me happy.
Penta beat El Grande Americano with a destroyer. I think the point was he was able to fight off the other Americanos first. So good for Penta.
Rayo and whatever the other one is.
Yes, kind of getting a win back after losing in the triple threat at Main Event, I guess. You have Dominic Mysterio entering a program with his dad, it looks like. Ray confronted him about, like, as long as I'm around, you're not the king of the luchadors, etc., etc. So it could be an interesting program, depending how far they're willing to go. Like, I would have time for Dom being just an absolute jerk to his father for an extended program. But then
did they not already do that?
They did, and the crowd is kind of embracing Dom as a babyface, so it's going to be awkward unless they really want him to flip back. I don't know. So I thought that's strange too. The timing of it. A, haven't we done this before? And B, it feels like Dom's gathering momentum to be a babyface. So I don't know.
Well, that and then I heard the rumor was him dropping the IC title to Cena.
Interesting.
At Survivor Series, and then Cena defends it in his last match.
I did see something about one more title run for Cena. I didn't think about it being
okay. So
I see.
I've seen also, there was internal talk of giving him the world title one more time.
No,
which if they were going to do that, I would have done that like last month. But now there's like 1 month left, and he has like 2 or 3 dates left. So there's really no point. The IC title, I only understand just because they want to give him that Grand Slam thing.
Right.
But I do think it's kind of interesting that like Cena's like the greatest of all time and he's not a Grand Slam champion. Like I think that in itself is kind of interesting.
It's because like I think he just ascended to the top tier very quickly and then never left, right?
Well, to be fair, he did come back, but when he did that, he just went back to the U.S. title because in 2015 he did to kind of go back down to help elevate a mid card title. But
he did, to be fair.
He did, but it was him winning the U.S. title again, not the IC title. So he was back in that scene, just not in the scene of that title.
Right.
Because they were going to do that with Daniel Bryan, I think, but then remember he got injured.
Mm-hmm. AJ Lee, the tag team, not the person, retained the tag titles against Judgment Day. Really
They've
fast.
already defended the same amount of times as Judgment Day. They've already matched the
That's awesome.
successful title defenses.
I watched most of this. Really fast-paced match. Crowd was really into it. Styles won with the Styles Clash. I think he picked McDonough off the ropes and transitioned it into a Styles Clash that looked pretty cool. So that was good.
Something cool with McDonough. It's not that hard.
And then the only other thing I noted was that Logan Paul comes down. I think it was the end of the show to join Punk. Because what was it? A tag match with the Vision against Punk and Uso. And then it went double count out, and Uso...
I will say I love Punk side plates. They look great.
Uso was getting killed by the Vision. So Paul comes out, stands beside Punk, and there's obviously an awkward, like, what the heck's going on here? Logan Paul puts on the brass knuckles as he's standing up to the Vision, who have chairs, I think it was. And we have this brief moment, and then sure enough, he turns and just decks Punk with the brass knuckles. And then...
shock horror.
Hands the knuckles over to Heyman. So... Do you
think some people think that he's now replaced Rollins in the Vision? Is that the case, or do you think it's just a War Games alliance?
That's what I was going to say. I don't think he's full on joining, but I think he's going to align himself with them for War Games.
That's why, because like a lot of people seem to think he's like the new leader of the Vision. Like that's terrible.
I don't think that's the case.
I will say I'd rather him join the Vision than like, because for a second when I only had seen the opening segment, I thought he was turning babyface again, and I was like, that's a mistake.
And do you think? Because if he becomes the new Rollins in that faction, then Rollins has to come back a babyface, and I don't know if that's
I feel like Rollins has to come back a babyface regardless, given how he got written out. I don't think there's anything that stops Rollins coming back a babyface.
So then maybe you do replace him.
I saw some point on that the Rollins Heyman thing at the end too, because Rollins didn't really change much about himself when he went heel. He just like started being a bit of a prick and beating people up with two lackeys, but like he kept the same theme. He was doing the same entrance a lot of the time. Like a lot of the time, he's the same guy. He was just like supposed to be a heel now.
Yeah, I don't know what
they didn't change enough about his character. And they should have given him a new theme. Because remember, there's rumors for a while he's getting a new theme, and then he never did.
Yeah, I also think there has to be some sort of story within the Vision where, because Heyman is constantly pumping up Breaker, right, as the next whatever, and Bronson Reed's just kind of standing there like
an Okada to
like what about me kind of thing, right? So I wonder if that's gonna have to go. But anyway, so introducing Logan Paul into this mix, we'll see if he is the new Seth Rollins or if he's.
Like we've been saying that we're supposed to get Theory involved in this. I want to see Theory.
I feel like that's just a IWC thing that is not at all gonna happen. I don't know. I could be wrong.
It depends on how his injury is, because he was injured.
Yeah. All right, moving into NXT. I will warn you now. This is. I hope you like Kalani Jordan because she is all over this episode. I enjoyed this episode more than some in recent memory. So I thought that it started with a really good 6-woman tag match. It was Paxley, Izzy Dame, and Lola Vice taking on Fatal Influence. So we had a double blind tag. Dame has to shove Paxley out of the way of the JC Jane elbow, but it connects with Dame, who was the legal person. And Fatal Influence win the match. I actually liked the match quite a bit. Really good pace. I thought that JC Jane looked really good. Like her strikes, there was a couple strikes in there that looked really, really stiff and good. So I don't know, rumors of her going to main roster. There's nothing else for her to do down here. And
North America, I guess, but that would just be
she's not my favorite, but she is capable of having some good matches. Later in the show, the Culling are backstage. Paxley feels terrible about Dame taking the elbow and the loss. Dame forgives Paxley, advises her to start thinking before she acts, like kind of like don't be taking on all possible opponents. Paxley says there's one more thing she needs to do to be satisfied. I guess trying to build some intrigue into that. Dame was back to feeling full babyface again this week, so I don't know if this uneven character is like intentional or just bad writing.
They can't decide which way they want to go, kind of thing.
Right, and it's like some weeks you still see a little flicker of obviously they're not super happy for Paxley, but it seems like now they're back to like, oh, I forgive you, don't worry. Anyways, I guess we'll see. Briggs confronts El Grande Americano and the other two in the locker room, wonders how long El Grande could last in a match with him. Grande says it's fine with him. He'll show NXT Universe who he is. So Kaiser spoke Spanish the whole time here. We got subtitles in English, actually, so that was pretty cool. Are we sure one of the others is Pete Dunne?
Yes.
The one looked like Tyler Bate for sure, but I didn't think it looked like Dunne.
I definitely think it's Dunne.
I was trying to I know that's the consensus, but I'm looking at him throughout this whole show and going like, I don't know, man. Like
I
I
feel like
guess.
the body type looks like done. I swear to God. Let me
Maybe,
look.
I
And
guess.
I'm gonna look it up right now. I think, but they're Los Americanos.
Li Ying Li is not happy with Kalani Jordan's recent heel behavior, and she's coming
She's
for
back in NXT.
She's coming for the Knockouts title. I thought her English was really good, and I was trying to remember, was her English always that good? I don't remember her speaking
Okay,
much.
so there's the older picture of the one Americano where he's got like the half mask where you can see his mouth. It's clear that's clearly done.
I'm saying
And I
from
don't
this
think
week.
people. Let me see.
I'm not worried about. It might have been him other times.
Yes, I can tell from the torso that's done.
This week?
That one's from a couple weeks ago, but like it's not the different guy. So yeah, it has to be the same guy.
So
I think the torso looks like Dunn because I've seen Dunn like sometimes he posts a picture like after he's like when he got jacked.
Yeah.
It looks. I'm pretty sure it's done.
So apparently the Ren QCC does exist. I don't know when she got members, but it looks like it's Ren Sinclair, Carmen Petrovich, Tyra May Steele, and Kendall Gray.
That name's only really funny though. The NQCC exists because
Right.
Ren Quarter Catch Crew doesn't stand. That's not.
No.
You know.
So it looks like it's all kind of like a shooter faction, right? Because Petrovich is a martial artist, and May and Gray. Is May? I don't know what May's background is actually. I should say.
She was the Olympic one, wasn't she?
But a wrestler.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it is.
She's like Tavion.
Kalani interrupts them and tells Gray that she remembers being just like her, sort of thing. So then Kalani gets a lengthy in-ring heel promo. So the turn is clearly complete. What she actually said is pretty good, but her delivery is still like not great.
It's still
obviously. And it's new for her and she's young, so I'll give her time, but she needs to work for sure. It's one of those cases, I think, where they're like high on Kalani's talent, which is fair. They know what she can do as a babyface, so let's see.
Athletic.
She is. So let's see what she can do before main roster or whatever as a heel, kind of like they did with Roxanne, right? And they seem to do. Basically, she did what she needed to do to retain. Fans are hypocrites who cheer for Cody and Dom when they cheat but don't support her, which I thought was a fair point. She got kicked out of the locker room and called a traitor by women who haven't accomplished half of what she has. Nobody can keep up with her athletically is the route she's going with. And then she's responds to Ying Li saying like she's not even on my radar. I won't be defending my title at Gold Rush. So she's the opposite of the fighting champion, which makes sense for a heel. OTM are interviewed backstage. I literally could not understand what Bronco Nima was saying. He speaks full fluent English, but he like mumbles, and I don't think the audio was great. And it was part of actually the promo because they're like, we're not going to yell anymore. We can whisper or something like that. But anyways, the Chase kids come in, say they haven't forgotten what OTM did to them. Andre Chase comes in and is kind of like, are you guys stupid? Like, why are you escalating things with OTM? They're going to kill you. OTM leave. Chase accuses the kids of not listening to him. So obviously this is creating a winnable feud for OTM because it looks like they're being kind of pushed as a monster heel tag.
Chase U's kind of not. They're not. Chase U's probably not winning more titles anytime soon.
And to be honest, the Chase U kids are really good in this, like naive youngsters with more guts than brains. You know what I mean? OTM have a cool look. Like they look like an intimidating team, but I need to see more I need to see more in ring. I need to see more on the mic, etc. And I guess that's the point of NXT. So we'll see how they do. El Grande Americano beat Briggs in 10 minutes with a submission where he had him like over his knees and was pulling back on him. I don't know what it's called.
Like bow and arrow stretch?
Almost, but not going all the way. Ooh, that's going to be bad on the audio. Not going all the way back and getting him off the ground. He's sort of still had his legs on the ground while pulling back. Odd dynamic. So the other two Americanos got involved, took Briggs out on the floor, and then Briggs was distracted by Heights sort of leading into that. So kind of an odd dynamic because they're both technically heels, right? But the crowd hates Briggs in NXT so much that they were supporting El Grande. Fine match. I think there's a better match there, but this was to sort of get more storylines going. It's Heights and Briggs are obviously the thing we're going with here. More Kalani now. She's backstage talking to Ava. She tells Ava that Ava's not the GM of TNA, so she has no control over the Knockouts title. You can't make me defend it because it's not your title. Makes sense. True. Tyra May Steele gets in Kalani's face and tells her that she's being disrespectful, so Ava uses her power to make a match between those two on this show. So we're going to get more Kalani still. It's like 4 or 5 times she's on this show. Saints and Trick have a split screen sort of interview. Ricky talks about beating Trick clean. Trick can't handle it. He held the show hostage. Trick doesn't care about NXT, has his foot out the door. Trick says Ricky looks like a fan while Trick looks like a star, and the title belongs on a star. This makes Ricky mad. He says he's done talking. It's time to handle this.
Still going on about it.
So they find each other backstage to fight, but Trick has like a comically long steel pipe, like a pipe the length of a kendo stick at this point. And he hits Saints in the midsection with it, and then they're separated by security or whoever's back there. It's fine. And the story of like Trick's a diva and he's entitled to the title, and Saints is the hardworking babyface who paid his dues on the indies and all that, right? Like that makes sense to me. They're gonna have a last man standing match. I assume Saints wins that. I think Trick does have a foot out the door at this point.
I don't think he needs to be there. I don't think he's great, but I don't really know what else they want from him.
Exactly.
Right?
Like I think in ring he's good enough for main roster, and
I feel like he's as good as he's gonna get.
They're gonna like it.
Main roster.
They're gonna like his physical presence. They're gonna like his mic work, which can be good. So away you go, I guess, for him. Zarya beat Ren Sinclair in less than 3 minutes in a speed tournament match. Spear F5, which is now been named. Did you hear?
No.
The Zone of Destruction.
Oh, that's terrible.
For the win. I thought you'd like that.
That is terrible, because Bane's, I think when Bane did the F5, she called it Fate's Descent, which I think was cool.
Yes.
But like, Zone of Destruction, that's like Beast Motor. That's Operation Dragon.
Operation Dragon. Not quite. Operation Dragon's like the ultimate.
I don't know. The Zone of Destruction's pretty terrible.
So I think the point of this, and commentary even mentioned it, is that Ruka doesn't seem to be overly happy. Like Ruka and Zarya don't seem to be as smiley.
They're not like yelling as much.
Right. So I guess that story continues. And then we've learned that Fallon Henley is going to face, ready, Skylar Ray in the other semifinal. Exactly. Never heard of her in my life.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not like stupid.
I think they said it's the LFG Season 2 winner. We already had Season 2.
I don't think so. I think it was someone else.
Okay.
Don't ask me who.
So Google Skylar Ray for me then.
Okay.
And see what comes up. Then we had
Ray.
Return of Kalani again. She beat Tyra May Steele in 5 minutes with her moonsault that's called what? What's her moonsault called?
It is the female LFG winner, but it says she has a different name.
Oh. Never heard of her, but this
is her new name, I guess.
That's how prestigious the speed title is. Someone we've never seen or heard of. You're in the semis.
How prestigious LFG is if we don't know who won it.
So Kalani beat Steele in 5 minutes. Key thing is Kalani is trying to cheat during the match. She gets her feet up on the ropes on a pinfall attempt, etc. So she is a heel. Match was fine, too short to really care. I don't know how much I see in Tyra May Steele at this point. I don't know what area she's excelling in at this point, but I guess she's new and there's hope for her. After the match, Santino appears on the Tron to announce that Kalani will, in fact, defend the North American title at Gold Rush against Li Ying Lee and Jordan Grace in a triple threat. So Jordan Grace leaves TNA to join NXT.
And gets a shot at the
Knockouts title is what she
Nailed
gets.
It.
Awesome.
Killer.
Match of the show, I would say. Actually, no, I like the women's six-woman too, but Javon Evans and Saquon Sugars had a pretty good 14-minute match. I did
hear good things, but I think they've had matches on the indies.
So I don't, right, and that was one thing. Like Sugars was an actual wrestler who came in, right? He's not just what's the other thing?
He's not just like a NIL guy.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've seen him in a long singles match before. I thought he looked pretty good.
And Javon, like I saw clips of this, but Javon is just so freaking special.
He is. That was one of the things. I'm glad you said that, because one of my points was he's so good at everything. Like he did seem like extra pissed off in this match. You know what I mean? It's one of those where he attacks him as he's coming up the ramp, and he just wrestles with a bit more.
The way he moves around in general too is just so different, and he's just so.
And he just has entertaining matches with everybody in any capacity, right? And he is getting a little bit physically bigger, you can see, which I'm sure they want him to.
Yeah, of course.
He has a unique speaking style that really works. He feels real. Like I don't know. I worry that he's going to get lost in the shuffle on main roster. So I
worry that too.
I am just soaking in Javon Evans as much as I can, because I think the guy's.
I think he beats Paige eventually.
I think he's a perfect North American champion.
I think down the line he's easily getting the top title, but I think right now he's the guy to beat Paige. And then Paige's main roster ready. I think the Paige Chelsea Green act, I think you could test that on the main roster.
100%. I'll get to that too. I am just enjoying Evans as long as I have him because I don't.
He is so great.
He is awesome.
I really wish he would have been able to come along in the black and gold era because he would have been an absolute revelation in that era. Like imagine Javon in like the prime NXT because even like if age would have made sense because like he's really young now, so he would have been like too young probably around black and gold era. But like if he was at the age he is now in the black and gold, like imagine him in that time because he's great now, but imagine him in the time where like everything was great.
The only thing we need to know about him is can he do heel work? Because when
not necessarily.
I kind of misjudged him too because when he came, I'm like, okay, it's this skinny kid and he's super athletic, but no, man, he can wrestle, he can talk, he's good. He's just good.
I see him being able to hold up like the character end of that, but his in-ring work is so entertaining.
It is.
That it's like, I don't know. But to be fair, you said the same thing, like Ricochet and Pac.
True.
Are examples of guys who you wouldn't expect to be good at it.
But you'd
despite
think
what they can do.
Evans might be at that time where they want to know in NXT. Like just like they're doing with
but at the same time, I don't think you need to do it yet. I think he's so popular and
he's great.
I think like he needs to stay babyface to beat Paige for the title. I don't think now is the time to really go experimenting with that because I think like he's such a great package right now. I don't think you need to like go messing with anything.
So he beat Sugars. Booker annoyed me in this match because I feel like he's the heel commentator, so he just throws things out in support of the heels for no reason. Like, there's always this talk of Saquon Sugars is the guy with the plan. He's the man with the map. Where have we ever seen...
I thought he was the wild card.
Where have we ever seen any evidence of this? And also, he's talking about Dark State. All they do is innovate. What... Example. One innovation. Just one.
The shield bomb.
So I don't, it's just like he tries so hard to be heel commentator, but half the stuff he says doesn't really make sense. And then the main event was actually the Muy Grande Double Championship Celebracion of Ethan Page and Chelsea Green. And right away, the ropes are off the ring. There's like Canada flag piñatas in the corners. There's a 5-foot tall, 3-tiered cake in the middle of the ring. So immediately you're like, okay, someone's coming out of that cake, right? Obviously. Paige brags about being the greatest. They're the greatest Canadians of all time. He's the greatest North American to ever be in a WWE ring. Green brags about her accomplishments as well. Paige says they'll defend these titles against anyone and everyone. For some reason, Green starts to say the name Joe Hendry. Paige cuts her off and says that, oh, he ruins everything. And then at least I like that they're smart enough to assume that Joe Hendry is in the cake, right? Which I'm like, this is obviously where we're going. So they get like weapons. I think it was like some sort of sticks they were holding.
They could borrow Trick's pipe.
And they get Alba Fire to say Joe Hendry's name while they're ready to ambush him when he comes out of the cake.
Okay, I do kind of like that. That's kind of a nice touch.
So then Hendry comes down the aisle instead. And
like a regular person.
He wants a shot at the mixed tag titles, and they're like, haha, you don't have a partner for that. And then, long story short, Thea Hale pops out of the cake. She has like cream pies in her hand and smashes one in Green's face and one in Fire's face. And then Hendry ends up smashing a pie in Paige's face, and then they celebrate. They have Hale pops out of the cake in a matching outfit to Joe Hendry. So and again, Paige and Green are a really good act, and I can see them doing this on main roster, just like you said. Paige has this ability to have an almost silly tone in character and interviews, but then be serious and awesome in the ring, right? And I think that'll go a long way for him on main roster. I'm kind of out on Hendry at this point. The tone
I think like it's a one-trick pony.
And that's what I'm exactly. There's a shelf life to his thing.
And the thing is too, his popularity, it's kind of like what I say with LA Knight, and I've been considering LA Knight for most overrated because like so many people are like on about like LA Knight
Hendry in there too.
Push LA Knight, push LA Knight, push LA Knight. And I'm like, his moment passed. I feel like you and I have talked about this a lot. And we'll probably talk about it at the year end. But yeah, like Hendry, he was so red hot like a year ago. And I'll admit, like, it was entertaining.
I was into it.
You're right.
And then the shelf life, there was an expiry date on it.
And they waited a little too long to make him world champion.
They did.
TNA.
Absolutely.
Now TNA barely utilizes him because it's like
he's basically NXT. They know he's gone.
They know he's out. So it's like they're almost like doing their part to make him stale because they're not capitalizing on him. But it's like also Like we're just saying now, there's only so many things you can like. I will say there's sometimes recently where he pops out, like sometimes the way they do it is funny, but like sometimes is the operative term here.
Right.
And like there's only so much you can do with that gimmick, and it's like you can get some mileage out of like him making songs to make fun of people, but like I don't see him as like I don't even like I think mid-card champion is like his ceiling now.
I agree. It's kind of like
North
you
American
had to
title,
strike while the iron was hot because his shtick just kind of wears thin quickly, at least for me.
I would say so.
Whereas I find Page's range is much better.
I think Ethan Page is great, and I don't think he's gonna be world champion on the main roster, but I do think he has a future as like intercontinental.
He's one of those guys that could be there forever because he can just.
I agree, and I'm really happy he's getting his due because like I do wish he had done more in AEW, but like, you're not gonna succeed everywhere, so I'm glad that like he's getting his due somewhere.
And he's one of those guys that whatever you give him, he will put his heart and soul into it and get the most.
Him and Green, right?
And get the most out of it. They're a really, really strong package deal together. Like they could be on main roster.
It just kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, they're very. They
kind of are on main roster doing it because Ethan Page was in the crowd when Chelsea Green won the title the other night.
They're a very entertaining act. So I actually enjoyed NXT this week. There were 2 matches I liked, and then I really like Page and Green together so far, so I like that. Mm-hmm. And that is going to wrap us up, I think, right? 277's over. We are, so you said Full Gear is not next week after? Because then you'll be home for that. We can probably record in person then. So 1 more week of remote recording, and then we'll be reunited in our little studio down here. So thanks, everybody, for checking us out, listening to us talk about wrestling as much time as you spent with us. We really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, follow, whatever, all those things. If you reach out and comment to us in any sort of platform, we try to get back to you as quickly as possible. We look forward to seeing you back here for 278 next week. And until then, everybody, take care.